Let's actually dive into it fully on what happened here. So like I said, TMC reported it. This is actual footage of what happened. So as you can see, Popovich left a local restaurant. I believe it was a steakhouse. And he was sent, and this is in San Antonio, and he was sent out on a stretcher to the hospital. So here's the clip that they have, and that's Pop, and they're rolling them. But fortunately, okay, this is the only fortunate part of any of this, because this is very unfortunate. The only fortunate part is that apparently Pop is doing okay, right? So here we go. So we have ESPN reporting here that Gregg Popovich was taken to the hospital after an incident at a restaurant Tuesday, but is now home and doing fine. Sources have confirmed. So we've been hearing time and time again, Pop is okay, that he's gonna be all right, everything's fine. I just don't want him to come back in a human level. And like I said, I do not care if we lose multiple years because of this. I just do not care. I don't care if we tank seasons and we lose Wemby. Like I do not care about any of that if it means that Pop can be healthy, and I truly do mean that. So I'm not even exaggerating, guys. I truly do mean that. I do not care. Maybe back in the day, like when I was in middle school, high school, and Spurs was just like, it was just my whole life. I mean, it's still my life now. I love the Spurs, but like it was just my whole life, and that's all I cared about. Maybe that wouldn't be the case, but now I do not care, guys. I just want him to be okay. So let me say this, okay? Because I think there's a lot of weirdos out there, okay? Most of us here, especially everyone in the chat, most of you guys, actually, I would say everyone in the chat, everyone that, participating, I'll say that we're all probably on the same page, that we love Pop, we want him to be okay, and that's all it is to it, right? And with that, we also don't want him to come back. I think a big chunk of us actually don't want Pop to come back, and that's the reason. But then there's also like some weirdos, right? There's weirdos out there that want Pop to retire for their own personal strange vendettas that they have against the guy, right? And I will say this, okay? Pop, he can be cringe sometimes, all right? He can be cringe. He can be a cranky old man when it comes to the media, but he's our cranky old man. He can be cringe, but he's our cringe, okay? And I'll say this as well, that even though Pop gets so much hate, I truly do think, based on testimonials, based on what everyone has said about him, and based on his actions, that he's probably a pretty good guy, right? He's a pretty cool guy. And if you're a Spurs fan, I don't see how you can simultaneously hate this man and want him gone and also say, oh, I love the Spurs. Because I ask you a question, why do we love the Spurs? I don't mean to sit here and virtue signal. I don't know if this is really a virtue signal, but like the question is, why do we love the Spurs? There's many reasons why we love this team. It's many reasons why we love this franchise. And I guarantee you, any reason that you give, you gotta give it to Pop. He is a big chunk of that. Any reason why you love the Spurs, he is a big chunk of that. The culture, he's a big chunk of that. They don't give up, he's a big chunk of that, right? The type of guys that they have around the locker room, the type of guys that they have in the front office, that's Pop. All of it's Pop. So for some of these weird people to come out and low-key be happy about this, because that's what it really is, happy that, oh, finally this coach is gone. You're sick, bro. And I don't see how you can be a Spurs fan. I think some people, like, you just grow up into it, right? Like you just grew up in San Antonio and you just automatically a Spurs fan and you don't even think about it or whatever. But for someone like me, who I said this many times before, I'm actually not from San Antonio, right? I'm not. I very much so authentically end up becoming a Spurs fan. I was surrounded around people that did not like the Spurs at all. All of my friends throughout school thought that they were boring, right? But I loved the character. I loved the culture. I loved the players. I loved all of it. And I give all that to Pop, or a big chunk of it to Pop, right? Pop and RC, but a big chunk of it to Pop. So like, if you can't say you love this franchise and simultaneously hate this dude. If you got some weird vendettas, just keep it to yourself, because he is very important to everything. So all I want to say is the selfishness selfishness part of me wants Pop to stay. Like that is the inner fandom in me. I want Pop to stay. I want Pop here. I want him here. I want him coaching until he's 150. I do not care, because he is the best available coach, right? That's the fandom in me. But I'm willing to put that to the side for the person. This is a good guy. And if you don't like him, if you think he's a prick sometimes, which he can be, obviously. No one's perfect, right? There's plenty of grapes I have with Pop. But if you feel that way, if you feel like, I don't like this guy, he's a jerk, you gotta at least give it to him, and you gotta at least admit, yeah, he would be our best available option. But with that being said, I hope Pop retires. The Spurs have been saying time and time again, and it's out of respect for Pop, obviously. I don't think any of us would have done it any differently than how the Spurs have been talking about this stuff. But yeah. They've been saying time and time again that he's going to be okay, or we hope that he can come back this season. Okay, now we have hopes that he come back next season. And I've just been sitting back this whole time like, I don't know if he comes back. Please retire. I'm with you, bro. Just retire. I just want him to be all right. If Popovich is struggling right now, just sitting at a restaurant, bro, like he has to... he has to key in on his health. And some people can make the argument, which I'm very like empathetic towards this. Like, people can say, well, when you're older, it is important for you to stay busy and still do things that you love, and coaching is something that he loves, right? And I get that. I got that. But I mean, and maybe this is part of the selfishness. Yeah, maybe this is a little bit of selfishness. Now I'm talking through it. Maybe this is a part of like selfishness from my end, because I truly don't want to be watching a game and see Pop like faint or pass out during a game. I don't want to see it. I just want him to be okay, man. And that might be selfishness on my part, right? Maybe it's best for the team and Pop that he goes out there and just coach. But just the first initial reaction I have, and my heart says, I don't want to see that happen. And I would rather him be okay, right? I would rather see Pop if hopefully nothing happens. Hopefully he lives for another 50 years, right? But I just hope that Pop can be with his family, and something happen and he's there with us. I know fans mean a lot to him, right? Pop means a lot to us, but he's not our actual family, He's not our actual, dad or grandfather or whatever, It's not the same. And I don't want him to pass out and all he got there is us. Nobody want to see that, bro. So, might be selfishness. I don't know. But that's my take on this whole thing, all right? I felt as if I need to be honest and say I don't think he comes back. Be honest and say that the human side of me don't want him back. And also address the weirdos that also agree that, yeah, I don't want him back, but they got some completely different reasons for it. That's kind of gross, You said Dot again says, nah, after his wife passed, he wasn't the same. He's trying to stay busy by coaching instead of truly grieving properly. It's like someone going to work after a family member passes to avoid pain. I don't know if Pop hasn't been the same. I did think that was wild that he came back so quickly. But that's not uncommon, right? Like, you can look at Isaiah Thomas when he lost his sister. He came back literally the next day. I think it was 24 hours, right? 24 hours he came back. So it could have been in honor of his wife, kind of like Isaiah Thomas. It was in honor of his sister. So I won't go as far as to say he didn't grieve properly, You know, it looks different for everybody. So I don't know. You know what I mean? You said we're assuming a lot about that. I don't know if that's fair. Yeah. I don't think that's fair. Doc could be completely right that he didn't grieve properly, but we wouldn't know that, right? Like, you know, him coming back to work like that. Yeah, it seems wild, but like, you know, we didn't say the same thing with Isaiah Thomas. Like, I feel like a lot of people praised that, like, dang, he came back. He's doing it for his sister, you know, so we can't have a double standard here. Favorite Pop memory is seeing him lead the Spurs to the 2014 finals win. Duncan and all were so great, but to see Pop lead them to perfection was amazing. It was actually incredible. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. I genuinely, even after you probably even heard it in my voice, kind of, it chokes me up a little bit talking about this, right? It chokes me up a little bit. And there's not many, I'll be honest with you, like, especially when it comes to like celebrities or whatever, but he's not just a celebrity, but when it comes to like parasocial relationships, there's not that many people that I would get choked up about, right? But Pop is one of them. Manu is one of them, you know, during that ceremony. Good God. The ceremony for Manu, that choked me up. Akira Toriyama's passing, that choked me up. Not many things choked me up, but yeah, I always enjoyed his post-game interviews. By the way, guys, G Money here is a Kings fan, so even he's in here like, yeah, I love Pop. So said my favorite Coach Pop moment was when he attended drafting Duncan. He knew that was a franchise changer, for sure. I think that it's very fair too that everyone in the chat is posting their favorite Pop moments. And by the way, I'll upload this segment at some point. I don't know, probably next day, honestly. People seeing it on YouTube, you can leave a comment on what your favorite Pop moment is. I probably should have did that call to action earlier. Nobody made it to this far in the video. But I think it's fine to start doing that because I don't think Pop's coming back. You know? I don't think Pop comes back to that court. I'm just being real with you guys. I just don't think it happens. Pop is my childhood, man. Bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why it makes me so angry. How people just flip on him. As soon as we've had a few mediocre seasons, now all of a sudden you have all these gripes with Pop. Like, really, man? He's been the same way this entire time. Pop has not changed. Well, actually, he's probably changed for the better. He used to be way harder on his players back in the day. He got a little bit better as he got older about that. Pop means a lot to me. When I was little, I attended a basketball camp and he gave me free Spurs tickets. For real? That's pretty cool, Brittany. Honestly, I don't even think that should come back to upper management. I don't even think he should come back to upper. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, what else are you going to do? You know what I mean? No, I think he should go to upper management. I don't, you know. There's no indication that Pop's cognitions are impaired or anything. It's just health. And like when you're on the court getting stressed out, yelling, you know, going on the road constantly, flying here and there, you know, if you're in the front office, you don't have to travel as much. But when you, at least that's my assumption. I'm assuming that, right? Like Brian Wright isn't with the team all the time. But yeah, so now I think that's totally fine. Him in upper management. I just don't want him on the court putting it. My main thing is strain on his body. It has nothing to do with cognitive ability or anything. Like Pop's still there. Pop is great. He's awesome. I'm just afraid that his body's struggling. Luckily though, which is really good, it wasn't a stroke. It wasn't another stroke. I don't think, from what we know. So sad, man. What a terrible day. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. Pop means a lot to us, man. Pop means a lot to us. Oh, it wasn't? No, from what we understand, it wasn't another stroke. I don't know for sure, but let's see. After officials say they received a call from an elderly man who had fainted while eating dinner. We've obtained video. Our sources tell us Popovich appeared to still be dealing with the effects of a mild stroke he suffered early November while at the establishment, as was there for close to 2 hours before suffering the medical emergency. Officials say they responded to the scene after receiving a call that an elderly man had fainted and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injury or illness. After sources tell there was alert and another source tells us Pop was alert and talking by the time he entered the back of the vehicle. He is now back home and doing better. So yeah, but I don't believe it was another stroke, which that would be quite devastating. So maybe I doubt it's unrelated, guys, but maybe it's unrelated, you know? I don't know. I doubt it's unrelated. He's been coaching longer than I've been alive. Dang. Pop Spurs are all I know. My favorite Pop moment was when Pop was being Pop during a Pop coached game. Heck yeah. That's like the best comment I've ever seen. My favorite Pop moment is when Tony was a rookie and a French reporter was inquiring about Tony and using all types of words to describe his speed, and Pop deadpan looks around the room and asked, am I being punked? Gosh, bro, am I being punked? That is such an outdated line now. I heard somebody use that the other day and I was like, bro, you showing your age a little bit, man. Chill. Good gosh. Why would you say that today? Am I being punked? Also, it doesn't help that was like said in every comedy film for like 6 years straight. Am I being punked? Like that was a whole thing. Like that was a joke, and everybody says, "Oh my god, it's so funny." Punked was a pretty cool show back in the day. I will say that it was a cool show. I like when Shaq got punked. I guess mine would be when Pop took the mic and defended Kawhi. That is not my favorite moment. That is actually my least favorite Pop moment. I thought it was just cringe. But like I said, he's our cringe. He's a cranky old man, but he's our cranky old man, okay? But that was cringe. That was cringe. That was cringe. Clan, do you have any emotion towards the piece of S who recorded the vulnerable moment of him being escorted to the hospital? I mean, dang, that's pretty strong language for somebody just like what's going on and pull out their phone, you know? Like I had at one point that actually was right next door to me. It was a fire. Everybody was okay. But like I recorded them putting the fire out, you know. I was like, dang, that's crazy. Yeah, I gotta show my friend this, you know what I mean? My mom. So I mean, I won't judge the person who did the video. Like I don't like, I would judge them when they were all up in his face, like, hey, Pop, trying to interview him or something. Like that would be pretty messed up. But for all we know, they just was like, what the heck is going on? You know? I never thought the mic thing was cringe. He knows Kawhi as a person, and he was tired of half-decade and hate towards him. Oh, I probably need to make this clear, Jonathan. The reason why I found that cringe is because I already knew the response that was going to come from that, right? Like, number one, you're not going to stop people from booing, okay? That's number one. I understood why he did it, because he's close to Kawhi. Kawhi childhood, or at least, you know, losing his dad and everything, but Pop is very empathetic towards that, and he tried his best to be there for him, right? So like he understands him on a deeper level than maybe a lot of us all of us actually would understand Kawhi. So I understand he was sticking up for Kawhi, and that just shows his character, right? Spurs are about character, so it's great that he showed that character, but I'll be honest, it was cringy. It was cringy, and it was cringy because I was cringing at the fact that you're not gonna make these people stop doing that. That's not going to do anything, you know. You would have probably been better off at a press conference mentioning it in like a better tone. You're not going to just force people to do that. And then number two, I cringed at how people were going to react to it, because I already knew people that already hated Pop was going to really just use this, push their agenda. You can't dictate fandom. Yeah, you can't. And if it would be one thing if like, but Spurs fans, look, I've been to some Spurs games, okay? And I've been around Spurs fans at these games. Spurs fans aren't that bad, right? Like at all, honestly, compared to other fan bases. Like I'm not doing that. I'm not saying that just out of like bias on my part. We're not that bad. So unless like people were saying some crazy stuff towards Kawhi, I didn't see any reason for like telling them don't boo him, you know? The only thing cringe is fans acting like spoiled teenagers. I respect Pop for defending his players, though. Yeah, oh yeah, it's all respect, bro. It's all respect. I respect him. Just thought it was cringe. That's okay. Heck yeah. I love all the Pop love in the chat. All right, we're gonna keep this whole segment in here just so we can have a segment of you guys giving your piece about Pop. All right, now we're in this segment though.